Welcome to our guide on how to get good at Ying, 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 Sally. Welcome to our guide on how to get good at Sally, perhaps one of the hardest operators to use to their fullest potential. Good Sally players will be one of the most formidable attackers and an excellent wild card in any game. Sally is equipped with either the 612 shotgun or the T95 light machine gun. The shotgun is equipped with an inbuilt suppressor, which most players will find makes the gun objectively worse, as it needs to be pointed halfway down their fucking throat to have a competitive time to kill. Players who get erect nipples while playing Dark Souls will fucking love this weapon. The T95 on the other hand is what most players will end up using due to its higher versatility and insane drum magazine. In fact, the enormous capacity allows players to pull off shit that would be impossible with most other operators, such as pre-firing, like you wouldn't fucking believe. It's downright comical how much you can just keep shooting without consequence and never have to worry about getting caught without bullets in the chamber. Abuse this ability as much as desired. Although, one of the major drawbacks of this gun is the very high and often unpredictable recoil that makes it fucking impossible to maintain a high rate of fire over long distances. Players should take this into consideration when choosing their preferred scope, as the widely praised ACOG won't necessarily be the best option, and the red dot may be preferable due to the easier recoil management. However, the silly guns are not the real reason to pick Sally, as her gadget more than anything defines her playstyle. What can only be described as a flashbang blessed by Lord Tachanka himself, this shit could mess up anyone with eyes, short of Stevie Wonder. Unlike other flashbangs, which are inconsistent at best, the clusterfuck that Sally gets access to is at least going to last longer than half a second and will still work against players who try to look away from the flash. It's worth mentioning that Sally herself gets complete immunity from her own gadget, so feel free to be as aggressive as desired when pushing onto an enemy player. The clutch potential of this shit is more insane than people who pay for nudes, as throwing this shit in a room and coordinating a multi-angled push with your team is the equivalent of a special forces SWAT team stomping a bus full of disabled children. Many players consider Ash to be the pinnacle of a rush strategy, and although not as fast, Sally can be more effective when it comes to cheese plays that players are able to get away with. Simply throw a bunch of the flashes in an objective room and make a beeline to the hostage before getting the fuck out, before they even realize what's just happened. Quick players will be able to be in and out before the enemy have even restored their ability to see, meaning there's effectively zero counterplay, short of already deployed traps. The homosexual nature of traps is one of the most hotly debated topics among world leaders, but using IQ's gaydar will be able to detect any hindrance to your plans to flash and grab other men. However, hostage is not the only game mode that suits Sally's versatile gadget, as having a healthy stock of clusterfucks can make it impossible for a defending team to disable the diffuser, as being anywhere near the damn thing will leave them more exposed than a D-grade celebrity who posted a remotely questionable tweet 7 years ago. One of the more useful applications is to throw this shit over a down teammate before a revive, as enemy players seem to freak the fuck out and run away as soon as their vision is slightly impaired. Players who attempt this strategy should be aware that their teammates are not immune to the flash and will have no idea what the fuck is going on until they've already been fondled and picked up from the ground. Like any other attacker, players should be intimately familiar with the strengths and limitations of their drone, as employing it properly is borderline cheating to an enemy team who does not attempt to stop you. With this in mind, players should get into the habit of using it to peek corners, as doing so will allow you to blind the enemy team without ever exposing yourself to unnecessary damage. The last decision a Sally player will need to make is whether they use a breaching charge or a claymore. Much of the time this will be up to personal preference, but as is proven so many times in game, good claymore placement will save your entire team more times than a typical 10-year-old default dances on a daily basis. Even when considering the crazy potential of Sally to carry teams, she is not without obvious drawbacks. Jaeger is able to entirely shut down her ability to light eyeballs on fire, but counting down the uses of his deployable will at least slightly help in your decision making. It should also be mentioned that the gadget itself can be destroyed before even detonating, so keeping an eye out will render her more useless than YouTube reaction channels. This concludes today's guide on how to get good at Sally. You will now easily win any fight you choose and never have to pick on players who aren't blind ever again. Subscribe for more guides that are often criticized for being too wholesome, but until next time, have fun and embrace the bullshit.